Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, another big show coming your way tonight. We take a look at Casey Field's Kids Come Try Fishing Day, held last Saturday. Some cracker snappers starting to appear in better numbers in the bay. Has Toolondo got water in it? What temperature is Port Phillip Bay? All that and more. So let's get into it with a big welcome to the man who travels by kayak. Adam Ring, welcome Ads.
Thanks Dave, and I'm absolutely flying tonight because we just had the most amazing feed. And one of the little locals around the corner. Get onto it, delicious.melbourne.
What's .melbourne?
Have a look. Hey, that's a new Melbourne domain name. Come on, boys.
Yeah, well.
None of this .com business.
No more .com.
.melbourne. Delicious.melbourne. Get on it.
There you go.
Amazing.
It was a good feed. I tell you what, a few laughs in the pre-production meeting, if you want to call it that. And would you believe Trelly has had another overseas holiday? This time Hong Kong, but he's back with us tonight on Talking Fishing. Welcome, Trelly.
Thank you very much. I did venture down to the main pier over there. Yeah. Saw a couple of guys fishing, and the only words I could get out of them was eggy. And of course, I knew what eggy was because one of our lures is called an eggy lure, which is a squid jig. Yeah. And I'm going, squid, and he's going, no, eggy. Squid, nah, eggy. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, mate. So, it was great. 17 million people.
What, on the pier?
17 million people in that little area of Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Don't ask me what they all do, fair income.
Did you ask for salt and pepper eggy?
Actually, I did. I ate at one of the places we ate, which was really good. On the pier down there where you get the main ferry, which runs around the bay and gives you all of a bit of a look. So, that was great.
Are you ever home?
Yes.
Yesterday.
Some of the I've got to say, like some of the stories we've heard in the last we were in a place delicious.melbourne. How do you what?
Instead of .com, just write .melbourne after it. Amazing.
Yeah. We had a good time the last hour, I've got to say, because we've been talking about some stuff. And last week was a pre-recorded show, but there's been that much happening in fishing in the last 2 weeks that it's going to be a big show. But just before we get into what's been happening in Hong Kong, we've got a little bit of footage of Trelly. Someone, I don't know, must have been in your party, Trelly, but there you go. You're in Chinatown there, a few flies buzzing around, past there. Is that a Chico roll?
Yeah, I think it was Yum Cha, I think. What I had Yankee rounds later.
Anyway, and that towel you're wrapping or whatever in the hat, is that how you actually dress when you go to Hong Kong?
No, it was donated by someone on the streets, I think so. But yeah, I think I swapped them for, I don't know, me jocks or something, I'm too sure.
Oh dear, but anyway. Boys, isn't it a teasing time of year with weather? Because Ads, you were at Casey Fields on Saturday with the 300 kids that we took fishing.
It was.
And it was a beautiful sunny 19 degrees. Yep. Absolutely glorious. A little bit of a northerly Trelly, but it was just fantastic. We're going to talk about, I won't talk about too much about Casey Fields, but the weather. Sunday, 12 degrees and rain.
I know.
What do you do?
And it's about to change again. The last couple of days have been mild. The wind got up today, but we still had 17 degrees, 18 degrees, and then what? The forecast
you said to me this afternoon, you said, I'm thinking of going fishing tomorrow. I said, have you seen the forecast? 13 degrees.
And 20 to 40 mil of rain.
Oh, yeah. Well, fishing in the rain.
Do you get this over the other side of the Great Divide?
We do actually. We're actually, I think Shepparton tomorrow is expecting an inch of rain tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
On top of what we've had.
Yeah.
So that'll, but look, a bit of short-term pain as far as our waterways and our catchments. But I've been in the business nearly 30 years up there, and I'm very, very confident about next 2 years with freshwater fishing.
Yeah, we will talk about places like Toolondo tonight and those lakes that have been dry for quite some time because they are filling, and I know some residents have had flooding, but this will set up some of those lakes for probably the next 5 years, won't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's where we see the freshwater boom start to happen. And as you said, Trelly, it's in for a couple of big years, I think.
That's right, exactly, yeah. It just takes water off everyone's minds.
Yeah,
including
exactly.
Fish.
Yeah, that's it.
Boys, let's have a look at what's been caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano, providing reliable, trustworthy, quality fishing gear for your enjoyment.
I mentioned Casey Fields earlier on, and we had 300 children there on Saturday, and there was no one more excited, I can tell you, than Alex McIntosh. He's 10 years old. He's from Yarra Junction. He brought the family along, and he just wanted to be with, his family and enjoy a day's fishing.
Yep.
A lovely trout there, and Paul and I just were so pleased to get our photo taken with Alex, because he's a superstar. Just great to see the kids out there enjoying those trout on that day, and about 90 trout, I think, were caught on the day. So
great day. There was fish regularly coming in, and the smiles on the kids' faces was just phenomenal.
A lot of fish for one day.
Yeah.
And good on Fisheries Victoria, because they know we hold the event. So 500 trout went in on the Wednesday, and they were just primed, Trelly, for catching on the Saturday. It was absolutely fantastic. Another youngster who enjoyed Casey Fields was Jasper Judd. He's 6 years old. He's from Langwarrin, and Jasper was actually the first kid for the day to catch a trout.
He was too.
He was absolutely stoked, and his mum brought him along.
Yep.
His dad watches Talking Fishing, but his mum had him there just going, Jasper, you got yourself your first
And
trout.
he got
And he
it
was
done.
just
He
absolutely
was
wrapped.
stoked.
Yeah, so well done to Jasper. That's all good. Now, let's turn our thoughts to snapper, because it is fast approaching the snapper season, and we're going to talk about the warmth of Port Phillip Bay later on, because the bay temperature is on the rise. The fish are getting excited, and have a look at this one caught by Nick, 7.5 kilos out of Western Port. That one, I was thinking the other one that's land-based that's coming out next.
We're getting there.
But this one was Nick on Western Port, right up the top end, 7.54 kilos. Crack a fish.
Yeah,
Flat
rough day,
water.
that one.
Yeah. I like those days.
You get those days, truly. Let's go over to Port Phillip and have a look. This is land-based off Brighton Breakwall, 6.5 kilo by Luke Compton. Well done, Luke.
Yeah, that's
now,
a beautiful fish.
Luke's actually wrote to us and he said, it mightn't look that big, but he's 6'4".
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That is a
nice
cracker fish.
Yeah.
So any of those windy days, and probably the southwesterly is the best one, isn't it? Where, a little bit different to that Geelong side trolley over near your shop, but certainly on the eastern seaboard of Port Phillip Bay.
Yeah.
You get that big southwesterly blowing. It's rough. They come in under the cover of the murky water, and the food that's stirred up around some of the jetties, and fish like that. They're becoming common, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. And I hope we see a lot more. If it's going to blow, it can at least give us those westerlies, so that right along, that side of Port Phillip, which you just mentioned, is going to get great numbers of those big fish. And 6.5 kilos off the stones is phenomenal.
It's just unreal, isn't it? The other thing that happens this time of year, and particularly with the amount of rain that we've had, is that some of these systems where the salt meets the fresh, so places like Werribee River, like the Maribyrnong, all those places where there's a bit of a salt content, it pushes those brim down, and there's no better place than Patterson River, and those fish are just pushed right down near the bridge. And Anthony Bullard, he got into some cracking brim underneath the Patterson River, boys. Patterson River train bridge, 38 centimetres there.
That's a really healthy looking
It is,
brim
isn't it?
too, nice and clean. A lot of dirty water pushing down from the water sports centre, and the fish will congregate under that bridge. And now's the time to go and target them.
So when you say that the fresh water is pushing down and your salt water is pushing up, Dave, like for someone who probably hasn't fished there, how would you fish that? You fish a bait up high or down low? Where's your brim going to be?
Oh no, your freshwater's sitting more on top.
Yep.
But you can imagine. Look, if you ever want to see the phenomenon, and that's a hard word to say, and I got it right first time. The phenomenon of the Dandenong Creek running out into Port Phillip Bay is unbelievable. So it runs into the water sports centre that was built for, I think, potentially the Olympic Games back in the day, at Carrum, and then it falls over a rock wall, I guess, if you like, under the Frankston Freeway.
Yes.
And it's just the amount of fresh water, Trelly, flowing in to Port Phillip Bay from that one river. So that whole system fills up with fresh water.
Yep.
It pushes the barrier of the salt to a certain point where the brim move out, because they don't want to be in pure fresh, they want to be in a mix.
Right.
And they just find their spot, which is a lot closer to Port Phillip Bay. So anyway, I can't explain anymore because I've got to get on to the last one before we go to an ad break. Gary Norton, champion Gaz, he got a lovely brown trout in the Goulburn River last weekend, and that's a cracker fish.
Yeah, it's a beautiful fish.
That's a nice fish.
Gary reports lots of brown trout, particularly at the top end of the Goulburn.
Nice.
In the area where you're allowed to fish, don't go right below the wall because you're not allowed to fish, but there's some cracker fish up there. If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au.
And coming up on Talking Fishing Product of the Week, we take a look at Casey Field's Kids Day right after this.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wear the line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing. Every day's a chance to drift away.
Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See you down at Tackle World today.
Product of the Week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing.
Welcome back to Talking Fishing, and we're going to jump straight into Product of the Week with a couple of new products in the Shimano stable. We've been waiting for these reels for quite some time as they've come through in dribs and drabs. We've got a couple of the medium sizes first, and then the rest follow. Then, of course, is the Shimano Nasky. I've got the 1000 and the 2500 here, and like a lot of the reels we've spoken about lately, Hagani is a massive feature of these reels. I won't go into too much detail as we've spoken about it plenty of times before, but basically smoother for longer is the game plan with these reels. A very, very striking new cosmetic trolley, which I think makes them very easy to combo up. I know working in a tackle store, we're always looking for easy and new ways to display these reels, because in a massive cabinet full of everything, they can easily get lost. But black and gold, very simple.
Yes.
But opens up a world of possibilities, because we all know you've got to have a good looking combo.
You do. Even if you don't catch fish, you'll look good.
Exactly right. So that's the 1000 and the 2500.
Now, Eds, would I be right in saying that the Nasky is the cheapest Shimano reel with the Hagani technology?
No.
Oh. Is there something cheaper? Yeah. What is it?
They're pretty much running it in all the new reels now.
But is there something new out that is cheaper? I don't think there is.
The Sedona does, doesn't it?
No.
Doesn't it?
No. This is the cheapest.
This is the
I was right. It was a loaded question. You were meant to answer yes.
This is the cheapest reel, guys.
I'm telling you, it's the cheapest reel in the Shimano stable with Hagani.
As you can see, I did my research before I come in. The 3000 and 4000 is the next couple of sizes. Core Protect is the next big feature which these reels do boast, and that basically means it's keeping all the nasty salt water out of all the little pieces where it can get in and start deteriorating that reel quickly. So in around the bail roller, down the bottom of the rotor there, anywhere that salt water can penetrate and start to break down your reel, Core Protect helps negate that, so that again, smoother for longer. That is the game plan with all of these new Shimano reels. So the 3 and the 4000, that'll feature big come snapper time, whether it's a soft plastics reel or a bait fishing reel, as some of these Port Phillip combos particularly become quite popular as we go lighter and lighter. But Core Protect, very I guess a small feature which you may not hear about, but makes a huge difference to the end product. So Core Protect, have a look at that. And then moving last but not least into the 5000 size, which is a fairly new size in the Shimano stable, and that really comes into our snapper market because a lot of the bait fishing reels are coming that way. G-free body is another key feature in these reels, and all that means, again, the main shaft has been brought to the reel foot. It moves up a little bit to help maintain stability when it's on the rod. So that's the 5000. That's the Nasky ranges of reels. I've got
another question. Can I
not answer?
Can I ask another question? Mr. Cotter. Is 5000 the new 6000?
Kind of.
You talk about snapper.
40's the new 50 in your age.
Yeah. So no, but you talk about snapper reels, right? And
the other way around.
People used to go. Well, I mean, I know in the old days, bait runner 4500s, but in Sustains or Stratics and that, it was a 6000 was the model you got.
Yep.
Now it's a 5000.
Yeah,
the
it
Stratic
is.
FKs, they stop at 5000, and people are using 5000s on their boats.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of getting there. For Port Phillip wise, yes. We're definitely pushing that way because you just don't need to fish that big anymore. Of a 15-pound mono, you're holding plenty of line. A snapper's not going to spoil you. That's just the way it is.
No. I reckon 5000 is the new 6000.
Yeah, 5000 is a great way to go. Charlie, just to your left-hand side there, I've comboed up a 1000 size Nasky there with a Shimano Sentai Nano rod. Now these are a new rod to the range, and I think sit beautifully with these Nasky reels. Nanotechnology, this is a little bit of everything that you can do, anywhere from brim soft plastics to whiting bait fishing, anything you want to do. That's a 2 to 4 kilo rod. This is the closest thing to an all-rounder that you're going to get in Melbourne, because it literally handles everything that we fish for down here.
And
So
at a great price,
at a great
might I just
price,
add.
yeah.
That is a really great priced combo, not belting the budget around.
Well, that's right.
But super crisp rod, beautiful Hagani reel on a budget.
And this is the way fishing gear is going. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on a combo to get quality. So that's a cracker. And Charlie, the other one I've got there is the Port Phillip Snapper combo that we were talking about. Dave, that's a Nasky 5000 with a Shimano DNA series 7'4" one-piece snapper rod. We actually helped design these rods specifically for our market. So that is a bait fishing rod. It's got the little lock and load here, which is a little secret that I know Dave had bubbling away in the background for a few years. But that basically means that rod, if it wants to jump out of your rod holder, it can't. If it wants to bounce around, it can't. It just locks in beautifully. There's 4 different points there to lock it in depending on your conditions. Obviously, the rougher it is, the more you want to bring that rod back into your rod holder so it doesn't have a chance at popping out. But that is an absolute beauty. And then pop into any of our stores, whether it's Trelly stores, ours on the Peninsula or in Cranbourne.
Well, everyone's going to want to know what lock and load is now, because you didn't actually show it, but it's
hard to see. You can't.
You just got to
show it
come
on
in
there.
and have a look at what lock and load is, because it's a pretty good thing.
White tip, so we can see what's going on.
Right.
We fish for snapper in low light conditions, whether it's dawn or dusk.
Exactly.
And that just helps on the eye. So there you go, boys. Shimano Nasky. It's been a long time coming, but it's here and it's on the shelves. We've got plenty of rods there to match up every single size, regardless of what you want to fish for. So come and ask a few questions. We'd be more than happy to
And I
help.
think you said earlier, it's probably the sexiest looking reel
It is.
for its price.
And Trelly,
There you
did
go.
you know
It's really nice.
it is the most affordable reel on the Shimano market with Hagani? There you go.
Exactly.
There you go. I love your work. All right, let's move along. We're going to talk about Casey Fields now, and the Future Fish Foundation put on a big event on Saturday, the Casey Fields Kids Come Try Fishing Day. We've got a few snaps we're going to show you right now, and it was just a great day. Look, as we mentioned before, you know, the weather turned it on for us.
It did.
The 500 trout. Now I looked. You know, Saturday night was a full moon. And I just thought, the fish aren't going to bite. Paul had his big boat there and gave a tuition to every single one of the 300 kids that were there, which is priceless.
Yep.
Our team of volunteers, guys like Rob Plant from Cranbourne Angling Club, Brian Rinaldi, Simon's dad from Cranbourne Angling Club, to AB, to Darren the electrician at work. You know, some super guys that came along. Wilco. Been listening to Wilco on the ABC for 14 years, and Wilco comes along every year and just helps volunteer on this great day for the kids. And even that young fellow on your screen right now squeezing a bit of lemon on a beautifully cooked trout, because one of the things we did, Trelly, was if you caught a fish, Ken the chef, and you can only see his legs there in that picture, but Ken the chef would either clean the fish and bag it for you, or he'd actually cook it for you. And this young fellow here squirted his lemon on, and then he ate a trout for lunch.
See how good's that? That's the cycle of.
That's it.
That's the whole process.
It's the product of your fishing.
Yep, exactly
That's
right.
right. And these kids have got to learn young that, you know, once you catch it, you can eat it. It's not a problem.
That's right.
That's what happens in life.
Every kid walked away with a rod and reel to take home and hopefully annoy their parents on other weekends and getting down to places like Casey Fields or down the local piers, and that's what fishing's about. But I'm going to tell you a story, right? So this guy walks up. He's probably not watching because he wasn't really into fishing, but he walks up to the marquee there, and I'm standing there, and you know, we're sort of greeting people and making sure they go over to the registration table and so forth. And I said, "How you going, mate?" He goes, "Good." He got his 2 boys with him. I said, are you looking to register? He goes, no, I'm just looking to see what's going on, you know. I said, oh, yeah, well, you know, it's Future Fish Foundation, Casey Fields Kids Come Try Fishing Day. And he goes, oh, yeah. I said, do you want to join up? And he goes, oh, no, it's all good. He said, we're actually here looking for a Pokemon. And I looked at him, and I looked at his kid who had the mobile phone out. I don't know what you do with a mobile phone to find a Pokemon, right? But he's got his... And I just said, mate, get your kids to put the phones away. I said, go and see Liz over there on that table and grab a raffle ticket, and for each raffle ticket you get a free fishing rod to take home for your 2 kids. Go and listen to Paul Worsing. I said, do you watch iFishing? He said, I think I have. So he went over and got the raffle tickets, sat down, they listened to Paul's tuition, they came over and got their free fishing rods, and they went fishing for the rest of the day. And I did tell the story to a few people. I said, I think I just saved those 2 kids' lives.
Well, and you're right, and look, Dave, I know you've mentioned it's all about the kids, but congratulations to the parents who actually take the time out of their day to take their kids to events that you guys have put a fantastic one on. There's others around. To the parents out there who actually take the time to get them out there.
On the flip side of that, I was talking to Darren the Sparky on the way back, and he had these 2 teenagers that had just turned up on the day to go fishing. They had no idea this day was on. Anyway, these kids kept coming up and they're grabbing bait off Darren, because they're watching these kids catching fish on, and they couldn't catch them. Anyway, Darren said, "Oh, you guys part of the group?" And they're like, "No, no." So Darren was about to sort of give him the go and sign up, but it turns out these are teenagers. These 2 teenagers were helping the kids along with Darren bait hooks.
There you go.
They were grabbing bait for kids, not only for themselves, and that was great, but they were helping kids bait hooks, land fish. They got amongst it. And they were just there to go fishing for themselves, had no idea this was going on, and thought, how good is this? And helped themselves to basically help these kids go fishing. And that is exactly what this game's all about. And it was so good to see.
Not about Pokemon.
No.
Trelly, so to any parent who's, taking their kids out looking for Pokemons, I want your honest opinion on Pokemon, right? And you can be as politically incorrect as you want to be. But what do you say? What's your message to the people at home that may have taken their kids out looking for a Pokemon? What do you say?
Well, I think I can repeat on TV. You've just got to get a life. Fair dinkum. You just got to get a life. And you got to teach your kids a life. That's it, you got to teach your kids a life.
What are you teaching a kid to walk around with a mobile phone looking for something that's imaginary, a Pokemon?
Yeah, it's never going to give you the respect of nature. What's the anatomy of streams and lakes, and how you get the kids down. Fishing is just a part of getting the kids down with gabbies and dragonflies and bugs and Pokemons don't come with that.
There you go. Yeah. Written and spoken by Trelly for the Trelly Party. Up next, fisheries news, including how is Port Phillip Bay warming up compared to last year? Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
And plenty of news coming up, boys. Only people could watch during the ad breaks, I tell you. All right, let's kick it off because there's a bit of news to get through. The first item is New Fisheries Authority set to make a splash. That's the headline. The Andrews Labor government today, and this is, last Tuesday, introduced legislation to the Victorian Parliament to pave the way for a new statutory authority to manage fisheries statewide. The Victorian Fisheries Authority Bill delivers a key element of the Labor government's Target 1 million election commitment and sets the path for a new, modern, fit-for-purpose authority to ensure efficient service delivery across all fisheries sectors, boys. Now, you may ask, what is a statutory authority? Well, I'll let you know. Vic Roads. What were you going to say?
After you.
Parks Victoria.
Yes.
So they're not part of a giant, big government department. They're actually an authority on their own that is run by a board, if you like, a board of directors, and they have a CEO rather than a executive director. So they just break out of the bureaucracy, if you like, and they have a really good focus on what they're meant to focus on. So Victorian Fisheries Authority will focus on fishing only and not be drawn into other parts of agriculture or parks or whatever, as they have done in the past.
So that'll mean VR fish will be absorbed into the round table of the new statutory authority.
I got no idea, Trelly.
Okay.
The Victorian Fisheries Authority will be directly accountable for the administrative, licensing, compliance and enforcement functions currently undertaken by Fisheries Victoria. So there you go. It takes over the whole of fisheries. And it will support the development of recreational and commercial fishing and aquaculture in Victoria, regulate fisheries and provide advice to government on a range of fisheries management opportunities. The new authority will be led by an independent board and take an integrated and collaborative approach to the management of Victoria's fisheries resources. What does integrated and collaborative mean, Trelly?
I think I explained that before. I think that's Dallas moved, so that's why. Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about Dallas's left fur fish.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good one. Anyway, so let's move on. The next thing. Fisheries invited to free Murray Codference. Charlie, up your neck of the woods.
That
this
is
one.
hometown.
Freshwater fishers are being invited to Shepparton on Sunday, the 11th of December, to stay at Trelly's. No, it doesn't say that. For Victoria's first ever Murray Codference, where they can learn about the health of our Murray cod fisheries, how to improve their fishing, and how they can contribute to long-term sustainability. The Codference is part of the state government's $46 million Target 1 Million plan for recreational fishing, which aims to get more people fishing more often and grow participation to 1 million by 2020. So that's a massive event for Shepparton, Charlie.
It is actually, and Shepparton's a bit of a hub as far as the reach of the Murray cod fishermen. So it should serve its purpose really well, and we should get some really interesting speakers. That would be a great day.
Yeah, well, it goes on to say, Fisheries Victoria Executive Director Travis Dowling said conference topics would include the record stocking of Murray cod to improve fishing on rivers and lakes, Indigenous connections to the species, habitat restoration efforts, and a progress report on how the new slot limits are working. So what slot limits for cod, what are they?
They're 55 to 75, and the Indigenous part is when we have a smoked cod.
Okay. We'll also hear from cod fishing legends Rod McKenzie and Rod Harrison about their angling tips and experiences and how the attitudes of most recreational anglers towards Murray cod have changed for the better. Their talks will be complemented by a presentation from aquatic veterinarian Dr. Paul Hardy-Smith on better handling practices for Murray cod, which is more important than ever for big cod following the introduction of the slot limit in 2014 that requires all cod over 75 centimetres to be released. And it goes on to say, it's a long one.
Yep.
The conference will be held at the East Bank Conference Centre in Shepparton from 9:30am until 3:30. We'll put up all the details in the coming weeks leading up to it. Mr. Dowling said the conference built on the success of last year's Talk Wild Trout Conference in Mansfield, which attracted hundreds of keen anglers from across the state, and will be repeated on Saturday, 5th of November. So there you go. That's that one. Next one, boys, is the Snobs Creek hatchery. They're looking for some females. Are you a female sitting at home right now on the couch watching Talking Fishing? Are you a female who loves fishing? Would you like to contribute your views on how Fisheries Victoria delivers its fish production and stocking program? They'd like to hear from you. Fisheries Victoria is seeking nominations from suitably qualified female candidates to join the Snobs Creek Fish Production and Stocking Advisory Board. Female participation in recreational fishing is growing, so they'd like our new board to better represent fishers and bring a fresh perspective to the way we deliver fish production and stocking in Victoria. So there you go.
There you go. Good one.
Yep. Looking for women. There's a whole lot of criteria that you can see on the screen there. So if you have some practical knowledge, skills and experience in one or more of Victoria's inland recreational fisheries or hatchery operations, down to a working understanding of Victorian fisheries legislation, you may qualify, and applications and any request for further information should be sent to Andrew Hodges at andrew.s.hodges@ecodev.vic.gov.au by 5pm on the 21st of September, which I think is only a couple of days' time.
That's
so
it.
There you go. So if you're a woman interested in fishing, get onto that. Now, I've got plenty more. Bay temps, sorry, I've got a little slide on that somewhere. Let's have a look at this, boys, because this is a bit of interesting information. Every year, a lot of the universities monitor some things around what the bay temperature's doing. And we've got a couple of graphs up here which show this year on the right-hand side and last year. So if you can see by that, boys, last year the temperature dipped to, in parts of the bay, just below 10 degrees. This year, 10.6, 10.7 on the graph, so it didn't get... And you might say that's not much, but a couple of points of degree means quite a lot. And you also look on those graphs on your screen at home there, you can see the green line is the ocean temperature outside of Port Phillip Bay. So the ocean temperature really crosses the bay temperature, if you like, and during winter, the ocean's warmer than the bay, but during late spring and summer, the bay is warmer than the ocean, and you can see we're virtually at the cross point right now. And that is the exciting time, because you've got all these fish that they say swim out of the heads and turn right and head towards South Australia. They're all looking for warmer water now. So they come from an ocean that was warmer than the bay to now a place where the bay is warmer than the ocean. That's why they come into the bay.
There you go.
So exciting times ahead. That's that one. And boys, I was at a little meeting with fisheries the other day, and I just thought I'd raise this one that, and we've got a little image of a sticker that's been created by Native Fish Australia, Ron Lewis. And if you want to contact them, get onto their website. There it is, nativefish.asn.au. But Ron was telling us that so many people report tagged Murray cod. And it's a massive percentage of that are actually trout cod. They know by the tags that they were putting trout cod. So there's a real identification problem with people identifying a trout cod and a Murray cod, Trelly.
So I don't get it. Like, people are tagging Murray cod, or
well,
Murray
fisheries
cod
have done that.
eating the trout cod?
No. Well, they might be eating the trout. But no, fisheries have tagged a whole lot of Murray cod. Sorry. Fisheries have tagged a whole lot of trout cod. And people are catching them and going, I caught a Murray cod. Had a tag in it. And it's actually a trout cod. So so they've produced that sticker, which can go on everyone's boat or on their tackle bag or box or whatever, and it just gives you a really good couple of tips about identifying the difference between a Murray cod and a trout cod, because apparently a lot of trout cod are being mistaken for Murray cod. I don't know whether they're eating them or not, but they're reporting the tags anyway.
Well, they're a bit sweeter if you... No, I shouldn't say that.
Well, there's a couple of impoundments you can take them now, isn't there?
Exactly,
Yeah. That's where you've been fishing, naturally.
That's right.
Coming up on Talking Fishing, Kramer's mailbag and plenty more right after this.
Talking Fishing.
Make mine a Mornington.
G'day, David Kramer here. I'm a massive fan of the Mazda BT50, having personally driven and owned one for more than 5 years now. And to tell you what, you can't beat them for an all-round great ute and a great tow vehicle. Get into Mornington Mazda before the end of the month and grab yourself a run-out bargain. I made mine a Mornington Mazda.
Make mine a Mornington Mazda.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
All right, plenty of mailbag to get into tonight. Trelly, stop mucking around and leading me astray here. Let's get right into it. Hi, David. Please find attached a picture of a typical Lake Epilock yellowbelly caught by Aaron Wilson while fishing with myself on Sunday 11th of September. Aaron caught this 52 centimetre fish while casting soft plastics. Also to mention, the large amount of redfin present is amazing. We simply sounded the schools and jigged over them. Water is rising very quick and is also a bit dirty, but searching typical yellow haunts like rocky points will put you in with a chance for a fish or two. Thanks for that from Darren. That's pretty good.
Similar reports from Lake Eildon. And Lake Nilakudi. And Ranger Basin. So
that'll all be rising like you wouldn't believe, wouldn't they, Charlie?
Exactly,
over all the new ground and everything.
Great
work. Next one, Neil Mack. He's a regular.
Back up.
He writes, hi again, David, Adam and Trelly. Yes, Neil Mack again. Not trying to hijack the mailbag spot. Sent an email last night re Toolondo and forgot to also ask for information on the Barra opening at Hazelwood Pondage. Let's talk about Barra first. So I think a lot of people thought that the Barramundi opening was going to be October because that was the end of the fisheries notice.
Yep.
Now, there will be something out about that if it's not already. I think it's on Facebook, but I think the opening is now more around the start of December, 1 or 2 or 3, somewhere around there to be confirmed. There's a couple of issues, and one of them was that there was a delay in getting the 5,000 fish in, the last lot, and they had to change supplier at the last minute because of a health concern, and they're now in the 5,000, but they really need to grow, so they need to be at a decent size. You don't want anglers down there and they're all 35 or 37 centimetres. There's a potential, putting it back to December, that they will all be around that 50 centimetre mark and decent catches to be had on the first day. Now, Toolondo, boys, is very interesting because Toolondo relies really on Rocklands Reservoir. And there's a trigger point at Rocklands that's 116,000 megalitres. So when it gets to 116, then the water board has to decide, do they want to put some water in? It's a trigger point to put some water in Toolondo. But when they put the water in, when they finish putting the water in, it's got to be at 116,000 meg. So it's got to actually get a bit above before they put it in. So we are talking with Minister Neville's office as we speak, trying to get some sort of information out of the state government on a water transfer to there and some commitment. And we'd dearly love to get Lisa Neville, the Minister for Water, on the show. We'll try and get that in the next couple of weeks and try and get some sort of announcement if we can. So there's Toolondo, there's the Barramundi. Oh, boys, have a look at this. This is now a couple of photos brought in to the shop actually by Russell. And we'll put them up on the screen. But this, talk about a boat ramp affected by sand. There's the sign to say steep bank and rocky, just be careful because it's over your head. And the next picture actually shows from behind the sign. So the sign on the right-hand side of your screen there, it's just out of the sand. So now that's down at Seagull Drive in Locksport. And Russell says, don't be alarmed, there's plenty of other boat ramps. It's not a big hassle, but that's just how a boat ramp can get affected by sand. Thanks for that, Russell. Love your picks.
Good work.
Wilco came to the Casey Fields Kids Day on the weekend, and he gave me a great beer batter. This is his beer batter recipe. He said, David, it's the only way to do it. The ingredients: 1 by 375 milliliter bottle of Crown Lager. Thank you very much, Wilco. 1 egg, a tablespoon of olive oil, pinch of pepper, 1.5 cups of plain flour, and oil for cooking, boys. And what you do is you put the egg, the oil, and the pepper in a bowl and you whisk. You add the beer and whisk again. You gradually add the flour, whisking the whole time. Batter should be the consistency of cream. Oh. There you go.
Whisked a lot.
And you coat the fish in flour before dipping into batter. Now, I was always taught that you put self-raising flour in beer batter.
Oh, that's,
And Wilco's got plain flour here, so I'd like to start the debate.
Do you use... Typo?
No, I don't think so. This is typed out on a typewriter, I think. No, he's got one from the 70s, the typewriter. So let's maybe get on our Facebook page or email kramer@ifish.com.au. Do you use plain flour or self-raising flour? We just want one answer: self-raising flour or plain flour in your beer batter. I always say you got to dip the fish in plain flour, but what do you put in your beer batter? Anyway, thanks for that, Wilco.
We might be able to try that downstairs at our pre-recording studio. Delicious.Melbourne. That's right. We'll
write that
Big
down.
night in Delicious.Melbourne tonight, I can tell you. This one, Joe writes in, hey fellas, massive fan of the show, just wanted some contacts for great charters you'd recommend in Port Phillip Bay for whiting and snapper. Get onto ifish.com.au, or they're also listed on the tide chart down at Tackworld, Cramond and Mornington. There's all our guys that we recommend on there, but ifish.com.au gives you a great list of charters that we would recommend, and they're all great guys. So there you go, Joe, punching along here. This is a classic. Don't get me started.
Oh, there we go.
I think we've got plenty of time in this segment. Chris Hansen writes in, hi David, enough is enough.
Oh, hello.
Boys, Enough is enough. The Mornington Shire Council has changed its annual permit arrangement and is about to restrict annual boat ramp holders in which vehicle can now tow your boat to the ramp. Right, so if you've got 2 cars at home, you know, the missus drives a Nissan Patrol and you drive the Land Cruiser, or a Mazda BT50, Tony, you can't borrow the missus car to tow your boat down anymore. No, this is what he says. I've included my email to the council. This has to change back to a better and more user-friendly system. Let everyone give the council a disapproval rating. This is what he writes. To whom it may concern, I'm writing to give feedback and total dissatisfaction to your new boat ramp permits. I've been a long-time user at Sorrento Ramp and have found the old ramp pass system to be much more user-friendly. I'm more than happy to pay each year for a season pass, which suits me, but the new system has major flaws. As I fish with mates who share boats, this system will not allow them to tow my boat and their car at the ramp or vice versa. So what they've done, boys, and I won't go on because it's pretty lengthy.
Registration recognition.
Is it locked into your number plate?
The pass is locked into your number plate.
Registration recognition.
Chris goes on to say that you can only take up one car park with your pass. For God's sake, what happens if you've got 2 cars or 3 cars at home? Or your dad's towing the boat?
Printed, don't you? Just print 3 number plates. Only one
change the number plate on the car.
whole lot.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about
you're right.
Mornington Shire Council. Seriously, they need a rocket up them because they keep that they've got that new pay on your phone thing. Now they've got this. It is just bad. Let's keep going. With the recent rainfall in Western Victoria, can you discuss whether the lakes have fish in them already from previous stockings to start an immediate fishery, or will they need to be stocked again? For example, lakes like Toolondo, Tullarook, etc., that have very little water in them. Would these lakes that almost ran dry still hold fish? I'm keen for a great Western Lakes fishery to start up again. I did actually bring a little bit of information along. I've got it here somewhere amongst all the paperwork over here. Maybe I haven't, but there is actually, here it is, a stocking meeting to be held in Ballarat in early October. We'll put some more details up about that next week because I only got that at the last minute. But there is actually a specific stocking meeting with a whole lot of key recreational anglers to decide on what's going to go into some of these Western lakes because they're going to start filling with water. And the last one, thanks for answering my last question. This is from Aaron. I have another one about burley. We answered the one about soft plastics last week. What do you think is the best saltwater burley to put in burley pots? Tuna oil and bread, burley pellets, or frozen burley blocks you buy from your local fishing shops? I'll answer that one because we're run out of time, but 100% pure pilchard from Gotcha is just the only way to go, let me tell you. If you'd like to write in to Kramer's Mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Coming up, this week's hotspots next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsland's Tackle World Cranbourne.
Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start.
I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat.
Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for, Fishing Hotspots. Get on 'em, it's where the fish are.
Now, Charlie, you were just saying that they're not really hot spots this week, they're cold spots because a bit of cold weather, but I think it's coming back on Saturday. I think it's going to be about 19 or 20 on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then all downhill from then on. So,
there'll be well and truly hot spots by then, don't
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk snapper because it is that time of year for early season snapper and there's some beautiful spots around to get out. And number one, I would say this weekend is get out of Carrum, out of Patterson Lakes, or get out of Frankston, turn right, head to Seaford, 11 metres water, boys. That's
11.
That's all you got to do.
I like
particularly after we've got a couple of bad weather days coming up, bit of a blow, and 11 metres of Seaford and you'll get yourself a snapper, I reckon, this weekend.
Lock it in.
Hey,
that's it.
There you go.
We'll wait for catch of the week next week and it'll be Seaford, 11 metres.
Over your side of town, Charlie, over near Tackle Geelong, is a town called Port Arlington. That's the next hotspot. Some beautiful snappers starting to come into the bay and head to the left, and they're just heading into that. They've heard that the nets have stopped.
They've heard
it, and they're just swinging left into Corio Bay, and they're going to swim past Port Arlington. Port Arlington, I would say, in about 13 metres of water would have to be a hotspot for this weekend.
Yeah, we've been getting some great snapshots, as we reported last week. Great snapshots on sounders of lots of snapper in that area piled up.
ready to chew.
And like you say, the water temperature's there. It's looking really good.
Love it.
Heading over to Western Port now, and the top end's always a favourite this time of year because you tend to get a little bit warmer water. But the Toowondo Channel, the entrance to the Toowondo Channel, don't go too far up. You don't need to be too far up, but there's some beautiful water. Too far up, you've got a lot of fresh still.
Yep.
So you just need to be sitting out towards the entrance of the Toowondo Channel for some lovely snapper. Again, pick that sort of 10 to 12 metres, I reckon.
And you'll sound them up out the front of there too.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so some great fishing there. Sticking into Western Port, the other one is the Tenby Channel, heading down towards Coronella Way or Stockyard Point Way, around there. The Tenby Channel, only a very, very small channel. You need to get it on your map.
Yes.
But another great spot for snapper this time of year.
Can access it land-based too on a low tide, so keep an eye out for that, but definitely use your map because it could be a long night if you're still fishing and the tide goes out.
At low tide. Yeah, don't fish it at night with a run-out tide. If you don't know what you're doing, you haven't got a good GPS. So there you go. Let's head down to a place that I tell you what is still. Look, we just couldn't put all the photos we received in the last 2 weeks because last week was a pre-record. The last 2 weeks, that many photos for Catch of the Week, and I know Mitch Bertuccini was down at Portland last weekend and had a double on the barrels. Both fish over 100 kilos.
Yep.
So please get down to Portland still. It is still fishing red hot. If you want a chance at a barrel tuna, you still have got every chance. Get down there.
And that's the thing, they're all doubles and triples. I saw another double come through. Anthony Seeker sent me a couple of photos today, and I think they may have even had a three-way hookup where they had to basically cut one off because they were just getting too hard to manage. Yep. And I think they end up boating two of them, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong there, but there was definitely one of the photos he sent through, and they're massive fish. They're huge.
So a little bit of a shame we went pre-record last week because so much happened.
Yeah, that's right.
So much
in that
happened.
week. In that week leading up to last week was just reports everywhere.
And we have crammed a lot into tonight, and apologies for that. That's the way it is. And so seriously, look, those fish that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago off the entrance of Western Port out on the Flinders Bank and that, haven't had any reports of that. They've probably moved on. But if you want your chance at some good tuna, head down to Portland. And then the other one is the old capital of cod, yellowbelly and trout is Lake Eildon, and all of the above are being caught there.
They have.
It is not closed season for cod in Lake Eildon. You're allowed to fish right through this year. The yellowbelly are slowly starting to come on the bite there.
And they're big at the moment. The ones getting caught are big.
They're good.
They are.
But the trout.
Yeah.
There are some magnificent brown trout being caught both in the Hauqua and the Delatite arms at the moment. So don't forget trolling for trout because it's a magnificent time of year to be doing that as well.
Right. And I'm hearing flatlining Tassie Devils. Been like they've just been walking off the walls.
Yep.
And big worms for your yellowbelly, big scrub worms for yellowbelly.
There you go. Do you fish the depths for the yellowbelly? What are you doing, like beside a tree, or where are you fishing? How?
Yeah, you do. You can actually find them on a sounder. So sometimes this time of year they actually sit above a tree. So you might be in 50 foot of water. The tree might extend up a certain distance and you'll see all these spots on the top of the tree. So don't be scared to get a big worm, just lightly weight it because the further it gets down, the less weight. Drop it around, work it down, jig it, that type of thing, or troll it. So it can be on the bottom. This time of year can be mid-level. There
you go. So there's the hot spots for this weekend. A couple of little things I just wanted to raise, boys. We've talked plenty about the $2,000 grants for fishing clubs. They're getting close to 100 clubs that they've funded. But do you know there's 340 clubs in Victoria? So there's 240 fishing clubs that haven't applied for a $2,000 grant, and you're all entitled to. And we probably should get the list out again, but people are putting, clubs are putting Canaras in the corner with some nice land suites to make the place more hospitable. They're running talk nights, they're running open days, they're putting ads in the paper. If you're a member of a fishing club and your club hasn't applied for a $2,000 grant, do so. Just Google it. But 100 clubs it's approaching. And there's 340 clubs in Victoria.
So deadline on that one, Dave?
Oh, I reckon it could be the end of the year, Charlie.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%, but I think it's, so they really need to...
Should we have a plebiscite on that and make it extend that to the...
a plebiscite on...
whether we should go an extra year.
Okay, we could do that.
Yeah.
What would that cost, a couple of mil?
Yeah, or we could put that money into the clubs there. It's
the 470 billion for the Port of Melbourne today, apparently.
Right.
So we could afford a plebiscite on fishing, couldn't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could it be to do with
Or the
Richie and Kylie Minnow or something like that? Or
Yeah, or the blowfish or something.
might be Richie and Kevin Minnow or something like that. You never know. See whether Richie and Kevin can get together. The other question I had, boys, that interesting. We were in a group of people the other day, and someone raised the question: should the bag limit of elephant fish be increased?
Yeah, I would say why not. without understanding any of the science on it.
No, well, I mean, you know, that bag limit of 1 that was introduced quite some time ago now has pretty much shut down anyone targeting elephant fish.
Yeah.
And some of the discussion we led was, you know, they're not only just in Western Port now, because they're finding them over near Geelong, in the Barwon estuary.
Exactly.
Quite a few in there. So they're obviously coming into the Barwon estuary to spawn as well. You do get the occasional one in Port Phillip Bay.
Yep.
But you know, the question is raised now with fisheries, should they review that bag limit? And I don't think there's a lot of science to say yay or nay, but should the bag limit be reviewed?
I think all bag limits should be reviewed at some point.
Yep.
And if you're finding that the fisheries can sustain a catch that's more than 1, because you just said, you know, people like
shut it down. It's shut down the target.
Shut it down. So it's
needs to be.
Yes. Certainly have a look at it.
Yeah. Interesting. And I don't know how we instigate that, but it's certainly a topic of discussion.
Maybe just have.
Yeah, well, maybe we just have. And look, love to hear from the people at home. Again, like, get onto our Facebook, send us a message on Talking Fishing's Facebook page, or whatever you'd like to do. Anyway, you want to contact us through kramer@ifish.com.au, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Just love to hear people's thoughts on
That's
the
an
bag
interesting
of
one,
elephant
actually.
fish. Yeah, it's been a hot topic for a while, and no one's really done anything about it, so let's see what happens. That's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, hopefully Rocklands Reservoir will have passed the trigger point to transfer water to Lake Toolondo. We hope to bring you all the news on that. And it's the week before the AFL Grand Final long weekend. We'll preview some destinations that would be worth fishing if you're heading away. Until we see you again on Talking Fishing, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.